And 3 words for describe the race. In 3 words.
Frenetic, wheel to wheel,
Okay.
and youthful.
So yeah guys, hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Naren Harwani, and today we've just witnessed the Bahrain Grand Prix, the first race of the 2022 F1 season at the Supercar Club and Garage, the race arena organized by GigMix. It was super exciting, and with us we've got someone really special. Doesn't need any introduction, Ankush Ahuja, and he's a big Kimi Räikkönen fan, and I think the more I say, the less it is. He's got special messages from Kimi Räikkönen himself, and he's got to say a few words. He's got a Kimi Räikkönen steering wheel replica of I think when the audio was the radio messages, gloves and steering wheel.
No, that's the 2017. So this is 2018. This wheel is from the 2018 Australian Grand Prix. So it's the first race of the 2018 season when Kimi was actually on the front row with Hamilton, and Sebastian Vettel actually won that race from P3.
Yes.
And if you remember the press conference, Sebastian told Lewis that, today you might be partying, tomorrow Kimi and I will be partying. And then Hamilton went, oh, Kimi parties all the time. And then Kimi was like...
He's free to have a party tonight, and then hopefully Kimi and myself, have the party tomorrow.
Well, Kimi parties all the time, so... I guess.
So yeah, it's that weekend, Kavil. So...
Yeah, a massive Kimi Räikkönen fan. I think I've fallen more in love with the sport because of Ankush Ahuja, mainly because he's met so many people from the paddock, and his stories got so many stories to tell us, and the way he says the stories, I think that's the most important part, because when he says the stories, it just feels like you are inside the paddock and you've actually gone and met all the team principals or the members of the team. So yeah, Ankush, if you could just introduce yourself and add to the introduction.
Well, I think Naren has covered all the points. There's nothing really that I can add to it, except that, yeah, it's been quite an incredible journey from where it was in 1998 when I first started watching as a McLaren fan, and Mika Häkkinen, because he was the flying Finn back then, and then heard of the Iceman, who was actually coming through the ranks, 23 races only under his belt, and then suddenly he got a private test at Sauber, and he was on the scene, and then from there on, the Kimi Räikkönen love story began, which unfortunately has come to an end at the end of 2021, and like all good things, it has to come to an end, but there are innumerable memories and innumerable experiences, unbelievable days, and some of which have brought a lot of joy and some of which have brought a fair amount of sorrow as well.
Räikkönen is out. Räikkönen broken suspension. You can fix it, but it'll take a while. And that is how he feels about Kimi Räikkönen.
But yeah, that's what sports is, and that's why we love and are so passionate about a sport like Formula 1.
Yep, I really like the description, the love story. I think it's really the dedication and the passion that it really shows the dedication and passion you have for the sport, for Kimi Räikkönen, for Team Alfa Romeo, and everything. So coming to the Bahrain Grand Prix, how was the first race of the 2022 F1 season?
Well, what a turnaround of events, right? I mean, this is what I've always been saying, whenever there's a huge regulation change, whenever there's an overhaul, talk about the start of the turbo era in 2014, when Mercedes suddenly came up on the scene, and we were kind of questioning why Hamilton left McLaren, which was such a successful team, for a team like Mercedes, which were still trying to find their feet in the sport. And then he went on to win 7 titles. Eventually, and then of course we all know what happened in Abu Dhabi with the controversy and everything, but you were actually, I was still thinking that Mercedes would be still in the mix, but I think they're now the third best team from what it seems. And Ferrari out of nowhere has come up, and Mattia Binotto, who is the team principal, has been saying that we've been preparing for the 2022 Challenger. Of course, everybody has been doing it for quite some time now, but it's all about going in the right direction, getting the things right, and Ferrari seems to have aced it. Obviously, you have to feel for Red Bull, you have to feel for Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, Perez, you could say probably it was over rotation of the rear tires due to the excess torque that was coming into when he was coming into T1. But with Verstappen, well, he did all he could, but he actually could never really match Leclerc's pace. The only time he could have done that was when they went wheel to wheel just after their first stop.
Yes.
And those 3 laps were pivotal. It was a make or break move for Verstappen. But once Leclerc was able to defend, that was it. It was curtains.
Tell us about that battle. I think that was the highlight of the race. That battle was literally like there were neck and neck battle and over each other all over. I think they kind of overtook each other for a couple of times in those laps, and I think even I felt like maybe they could possibly crash. I think it was just almost coming to that, but yeah, glad they didn't crash. And a super exciting battle that we witnessed between Max and Charles. What are your thoughts on who you've got your money on for the championship?
Well, early days because it's just the first race, but there are 2 circuits which I've always believed are real indicators of the capabilities of any car. One obviously is Bahrain because it's a powertrain focus circuit, so you need a lot of top end grunt down the straight.
Yes.
The second one, of course, is Catalonia, and that's where we also have our pre-season tests, because Catalonia has a mix of low speed corners, medium speed corners, and if you have any flaws in your car, those actually get magnified on a track like Catalonia. So if you have a well balanced and a good engine under your belt or under your car, you would be able to easily become an ace either at Catalonia or at Bahrain. And then I think your money should be on the guy who's actually winning those races. So I guess Ferrari is going to be right up there. Red Bull is going to be in close contention, make no mistake about it. Mercedes, well, looking at the balance and the proposing issues and all that they've got right now, I think they might not come up to speed up until round 3 or 4 of the season. And probably it might be a little too late if Ferrari and Red Bull end up sharing points, honors in these opening rounds of the season. But yeah, I mean, today's battle reminded me somewhat of 2014 Bahrain when Rosberg went wheel to wheel with Hamilton. But of course, they were 2 like-minded drivers and similarly powered cars. This was having Red Bull powertrain going against Ferrari powertrain, and 2 different mindsets in terms of driving, because Leclerc would have obviously remembered 2019 Austria, where Max is always going to dive bomb. He's going to go for it. That's how his racing style is. That's what his racing culture and mentality is. You can't fault him for that because he is world champion because of that kind of racing style. But at the same time, I mean, kudos to Charles. Even at the restart, the way he actually pulled away and sold Verstappen the dummy. I actually never thought that Verstappen would get caught out like that. But Charles was sure of what he was doing and he pulled off this tactic magnificently well. So, my money is on Ferrari.
Charles Leclerc is it?
Charles Leclerc it is, and hopefully as long as they get their strategies right, I think Ferrari should be able to weather all the challenges that come across.
Yep, I think we are back to 2019 all over again. Charles Leclerc versus Max Verstappen. I think that's going to be the battle. Seems like all over the season, and Hamilton, let's talk about Hamilton. He was nowhere to be seen in the entire race, and I think the safety car kind of was really lucky towards the end, and he kind of grabbed P3. So what are thoughts on his race?
Well, there's this unwritten rule in Formula 1. As long as you keep it consistent and as long as you keep it clean, results will come your way. So that's the thing with Lewis as well. He kept it clean, and when the opportunity came in the form of the Red Bulls going out of the race, he was right there. he could have been, battling or, bickering away on team radio or not being focused at what he had, the machinery and the tools that he had under him. He just kept, putting in those laps. He actually set very competitive and consistent lap times. Obviously, they were not in the league of the Red Bulls and the Ferraris, but in itself, he was doing very good in terms of lap times. So there is room for improvement, of course. And Hamilton will definitely not want to give up so easily. And he said that he's going to be an aggressive driver.
Yes.
Something that we've not seen in the past from him. Obviously, once he gets a car under him, then it's going to be a different ball game altogether. But youth versus experience, well, I would be so happy to see, that contest happening. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Mercedes, I hope they kind of pull up their socks and kind of, maybe take these chances. I think it's really important to kind of take advantage of these chances and make the most of it. I think Lewis Hamilton was in the right place at the right time and he kind of finished P3. Really good for him. George Russell, I think, oh my God, that's his qualifying, kind of poor qualifying. He had a poor qualifying, but I think in the race he did pretty well. And I think it's just the start of 2022, right? So I think
just his first
still
race.
A first race.
First race, I mean, yeah. So
race
yeah. So we can cut him a little bit of slack as as well. But yeah, once he does get used to the package and understands the characteristics of that car, it's going to be interesting to see how Toto actually handles a guy as talented as George. Against a veteran like Lewis, a multi-world champion. So would he actually allow Russell to go wheel to wheel with Hamilton when the situation comes? And what really is Mercedes' goal for 2022 is going to be very important, because they have to be honest about their chances based on what they've seen today. Of course, they will be up there eventually, but then you need to know where you will end up in the season and what your priority should be at the end of the year. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, to sum it up, describe the race in 3 words, and how's your race screening experience here?
Okay, race screening experience, brilliant, loud, crazy.
And 3 words for describe the race in 3 words.
Frenetic, wheel to wheel,
Okay.
and youthful.
Nice. Great to know that, Ankush. And some words of wisdom for the viewers watching this.
Well, I would say if you guys have actually come in from Drive to Survive series, it's great. Thanks for becoming the new fans of Formula 1. I would request you guys to please watch the races live.
Yep.
Because there is so much to learn from the races actually, and you get to know about the teams and the drivers in race, because Formula 1 is a sport. As long as of course you have entertainment attached to it as well,
Yes.
but Formula 1 is a sport, so please do follow with as much energy and passion as you would the Drive to Survive series. So they are a good launch point to come into the sport, but once you have definitely fallen in love with Formula 1, then stick to the racing bit. Like
Yes.
Kimi says, I like to do the racing bit. The rest of the things can take a back seat.
Yeah, it's just a hobby for Kimi, right?
It's more like a hobby for me, so obviously I don't need to do it if I don't.
All right. A big thank you, Ankush, for your kind words. I really appreciate you giving your time and sharing your thoughts about the race, and looking forward to watching more races with you and having more fun conversations with you about F1. And yeah, massive thank you for your kind words, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Naren, and guys, do follow Racing Squad. This guy is really working hard to keep up, the viewers, and also engage with fans, and he should be honored, and for all the efforts that he puts in. So credit where credit's due. Thank you so much, Naren, for
Racing Squad.
Oh yes. Oh sorry.
Yeah, Naren.
Thank you so much, Naren, for being such an amazing host and running such a successful YouTube channel, which keeps changing handle names.
but yeah, I've just rebranded into Naren Harwani.
but I mean, it's good. It's good that it's been rebranded, so you know who the real guy is running the show.
Yes.
Okay, man.
Yeah. Thanks a ton, Ankush, for your kind words. Really appreciate it and means a lot to me. And hope to see you in race screenings in the future as well. Thanks a ton.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the end, 1, 2, 3. Forza
Ferrari!